Hey everyone, welcome back to Tactical Magic Podcast. This is Molly Mandelberg, your host, and I am very excited for the expert guests that we have on this episode today. I have tried every lead generation tool under the sun. I have been growing my business for 10 years, and I am a geek for systems. I am a geek for strategy, and I love picking up on things that I see working. And one of those things has been using 5-day challenges to grow my audience, to grow my list, to grow my raving fans, to grow my Facebook group, and to grow my client base. And I picked that strategy up from no other than the guest that we have here today. So without further ado, I'm going to pause real quick and we'll tell you a little bit more about Alina Vincent. It's not just about mastering technology. It's not just about brand or messaging. It's not just about making more money. It's about showing up in a big way so your people can find you. This is about bringing your most wild and authentic self into the hustle and grind. Welcome to Tactical Magic, a business strategies podcast for the warrior goddess entrepreneur. Awesome. So Alina Vincent is a business strategist, speaker, and international bestselling author of Teach Your Expertise, Leverage Your Expertise, Package Your Expertise, Own Your Expertise, and Monetize Your Expertise books. She's known globally as the creator of the Profitable Online Challenges formula, which helped her grow her business from zero to over $1 million in just 4 years. Alina is passionate about helping entrepreneurs package and monetize their knowledge and expertise to create a leveraged and scalable business. Welcome to the show, Alina.
Thank you so much for having me here. Super
Yes,
excited.
I'm so glad to have you here. So I know about challenges. I've run them many times, but will you just give us the like 1, 2, what is a 5-day challenge? How is that something that grows businesses?
Oh, sure. Basically, my definition for a challenge, we teach people how to create free 5-day challenges. There's lots of other forms, different formats, but that's what we've been doing for over 10 years in our business. And that's what we've been teaching others for years and years and years now. And basically, challenge is a mini training where you take a group of people through a series of steps to achieve a common goal. So you're gathering people who want to learn a new skill, establish a new habit, learn something new, or go through a process. And together over the 5 days, you're giving them teeny little laser focused information. So here's what's important. Here's how you need to do it. Here's the mistakes to avoid. And then you're giving them an assignment every single day. So it's a very experiential, result oriented training. And over the 5 days, basically people achieve the result. They achieve a transformation. They have something to show for that work. And because it's free, it builds a lot of value. So whenever you hear like you need to be providing value to your audiences, this is how you attract them, this is how you guide them towards your next offer. It's one of the best ways to build that value. And people get a taste of who you are. People get to understand what it's like to work with you, and they start seeing the results by following your steps. So it basically warms up your audience like nothing else. And then a very well designed challenge has to naturally lead people to your next offer. So we use it as a lead generation. We use it as a way to get in front of new audiences. We use it to create a desire for your offer. And of course, the idea is after people went through your challenge, they want the next step and they want to say yes to your offer.
Yeah. So it's not just a lead generation tool, it's a launch strategy. It's a way to share your course or your offering or your program to a really warm group of people. Because after 5 days together, there's an amazing thing that happens. And I love that I picked up on this from you, and I've heard you speak about this many times,
Mhm.
that during those daily activities, when you're giving them sort of a micro action to take, when they take it, they get a feeling of winning. They get like a sensation of victory, and that is like inadvertently associated with connection to you. And so that's part of that know, like, trust factor getting built is they're having joy, they're having elation, they're having success, and that creates more connection and makes them want to know more from you. So that concern of like, will I give it all away in the challenge? It's like, no, you're only giving a little piece of it away, and that creates the connection.
Yeah, and there's a couple of things that you just mentioned that I want to kind of piggyback on and emphasize even more. So number one, it's the importance of having at least 3 wins in a row because it activates stuff in our brain that we get addicted to winning. And of course, now we associate winning with your process, with your teaching. So people get almost addicted to you and they want more. And that's why they say yes to the next thing. And the second part of it is because we're doing in a group, the community element is another huge part of how we run challenges. It's not something that's evergreen. It's not something that people just get a series of 5 emails or 5 videos. We're doing it as a group. So you have like-minded people who are doing something new, scary, out of the box. They're stretching themselves for 5 days, but they also get inspired by each other. They get energized by each other. They get feeding off of each other's ideas. So there's this community element that's building. So besides building your list, because there's a list building strategy, you're also building your following. So the way we teach our challenges is we recommend that people use a community, and Facebook groups are still the best communities you can create in this kind of a social exchange of ideas, gathering people together type of groups. So in addition to building your list, you're also being a very active and engaged community. And then again, you have the social proof. You have people liking being among other people who are just like them, working on the same thing. So you have basically a challenge does so many things for you. So you're not only getting the wins, you not only want to have that next step, but you also feel like I found a place where I belong.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is a huge factor for entrepreneurs, especially service-based practitioners, coaches, healers. We tend to be an island of one. So to suddenly be surrounded by people who get what you're trying to do and don't think like your brother thinks you're crazy for trying to grow a coaching business in this world. It's like, no, these people get it and they want the same thing. And that kinship creates a new fire for believing that what you want is possible, what your business can create is possible. I want to bring up a couple concerns because I have clients and have helped some clients set up challenges in the past. And I hear this one often, which is why 5 days?
Mm. All right, so to kind of give a little bit of a background, the very first challenge I've created was actually 21 days, and it was a paid challenge. And then over the years, we've done 5 day challenges, 7 day challenges, 10 day challenges, 30 day challenges. We've done three, we've done paid. So just to say that we've done it all, we've seen it
Mhm.
all. So the what happens is if you go more than 5 days, so let's say like the reason I created 21 day challenge to begin with, because we all heard this takes 21 days to create a new habit, right? It takes 21 days to start seeing the results or establishing like something new in your business or in your life. And turns out that if you're not having it as a paid challenge, so now looking back, I'm kind of any paid challenges, it's basically you're selling a program, a training in a challenge format, but I don't count it as a challenge because now it's not a list generation. Now we're just having kind of maybe a lower cost training, a program or a course. So if you're doing anything longer, like 21 days or 30 days, and it's free, you're basically giving away way too much because for you to create 21 days worth of material, you're going to be by the time day 5 comes, day 10 comes, day 15 comes, and you have no, like it's not done yet. It's a lot of content to create. And your viewers, the people, your participants in your challenge, they also start getting behind because it's really to miss a day, easy to miss it 2 days. And by the time you get to, let's say, day 10, they feel like they're already a week behind. And then by the time your challenge is done and now you want to make the offer, people are way too full because you've given them so much and they feel like they're behind. So the answer, if you're like, hey, now would you like to sign up for my $2,000 program? They would basically say, oh, let me get through the stuff that I haven't even implemented yet before I can think of the next step. So you're taking it's stretched too long and people get way too much for that. If you're doing anything shorter, so let's say 3 days, can you do a 3 day? Yes. But again, remember that fact that you need to get 3 wins in a row because that's what gets people wanting more. That's what activates our brain. That's what makes us want to go like, oh, I want another star or I want another micro win. If they miss even one day, you're ruining that part. So in the 3 days, like in the 5 days, if you miss a day, you can still catch up. There's still more days. You're going longer, it's just too much. You're going shorter, you might miss that sweet spot of having 3 wins in a row. So to me, everything that I've done with different formats, 5 day formula, what works the best. There's also something interesting happens when we're going over the weekend. So we always run our challenges Monday through Friday. So once you go into the weekend, people get distracted. People start looking at something else. You don't have that motivation to keep going and to strive for the 5 days in a row. So even 7 day challenges are not as effective because you're going to see a huge drop off over the weekend. And you want people still excited, still wanting more by the time the challenge ends.
Yeah. I also, yeah, listen to her. It's not that I've talked people out of the 21-day challenges or the, 2-week challenges or whatever, but yeah, there is a strategy to it. And the main thing is to build enough connection that they're ready to take the next step. And if it's a paid challenge, then it's the main step for many of the people.
Wait, and that's the thing. It's the commitment. So
Yeah,
people can commit to something for free for about 5 days. After that, like it's not enough to motivate them because they didn't pay anything for it, so they're not losing. So if you want to do longer ones, just create them as paid challenges, and then you have that added commitment. I've invested some money, even if it's only like $37 or $97, but that's what's going to keep that commitment going.
right. Yeah. One other thing that I learned from you, which is a really powerful distinction, is that the challenge and the invitation at the end of the challenge need to be not exactly the same. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. This is probably the biggest mistake people make with challenges. I do a lot of challenge debriefs when people come and say, I've done a challenge-based launch and we didn't get the results that we wanted. What happened? And usually people love their challenge, but then they don't buy the program. So there's no bridge between the challenge and the offer. And I would say in 95% of the chat of the cases that we look at, the promise of the challenge was too close to the promise of the offer. So challenges are very different from any other lead generation magnets or lead magnets that we create. When we create a PDF, when we create a checklist, when we create a template, they're not designed to be actively engaged with. Most of the time, we download the report, we download the ebook. If we get to look at it, usually we just download it and it sits on our computer. We're not going to look at them. But even if we look at them, we're not actively taking action to implement it right away. So because of that, when we're creating lead magnets for any kind of like more traditional style launches, we don't think too hard how close is the topic to the offer because we know people are not going to start seeing the results just from downloading the lead magnets. It's more informational. It's not experiential
Mhm.
because challenges are so experiential. And one of the goals for when you're creating a challenge is people need to start seeing the results. They need to start experiencing transformation. You want to make sure that you're not solving their biggest problem in the challenge because then they have no reason to buy your paid program. So I'm going to give an example because it's so much easier with examples. Let's say I have a program on how to get clients from LinkedIn. I don't, but we're just going to say it. So one of the easiest topics is like, I'm going to do a challenge on how to get your first client on LinkedIn. And logically, it makes complete sense. I'm going to teach you like the first step on how to get clients. And then I have this $2,000 program on how to do a lot more of this and all of the other techniques. So people will sign up for the challenge if they're looking for how do I get more visible, how do I get more clients on LinkedIn, and they're going to be very actively participating because it's one of their top of mind problems. And they're going to be actively engaging. You're going to have participation. They're all going to say this is the best thing ever. And then at the end of the challenge, when it's time for you to make your offer and invitation after the end of the challenge, and you say, now I have this program where we just scratched the surface. There's so much more. People are going to say, but it feels like it's more of the same. You already gave me the band-aid. I already feel like I can do it on my own. So I'm just going to repeat what you've said. And it's no longer top of mind problem because you've diffused the tension. There's no longer this desire that, oh, I don't know what to do at all. I don't know how to get started. And we always underestimate how much more there is to know. And it's kind of like, you know, how people say, I know enough to be dangerous. So you're empowering people to feel that they're starting to see how to get the results, but they don't understand how much more there's to learn. So the idea for the challenge is you want to give something that gives them a prerequisite, it gives them a perfect step, it gives them something to get ready with, but not the mini version of what's in your program. So
Mhm.
basically, again, the statement I say it again and again in my programs when we teach challenges is the promise of your challenge has to be different than the promise of your offer. And when we create challenges, we always start with what is the promise of your program. And then we take one step back and say, what do people need to understand, realize? What's one of the objections they might have? And we create a challenge on that topic that would lead then to your program.
Can you give us an example of one that is set up right for the challenge into a program?
Sure. So I'm going to give an example with the event that we do a couple of times a year. So I have an event called High Profit Programs where we teach people from scratch how to create their online program. So basically, like if you've never created a program, if you've never created like the 5-week course, this event will teach you everything. So we wanted to sell tickets to this event. So when I was thinking of how do I create a challenge, we went through the list of why would people not come up with like not want to come to this event? What's one of the objections? One of the objections is like, I have no ideas. Like, I don't even know what I can create a program about. So one of the challenges we've created, and we have multiple challenges leading to the same offer, but one of the challenges is six-figure idea. It's basically 5 days, help you do sort of the inventory of your expertise, do an inventory of market, figure out what market demands, where there are needs, what are some of the solutions you can solve. So at the end of the 5-day challenge, people basically say, yes, this is the idea. I can monetize. This is something I know. This is something that people need. This is something that would be easy for me to put together. And then at the end of the challenge, they go, okay, I have an idea. Now, how do I monetize it? So we come in and we say, hey, there's this webinar on how to take your idea from idea to creating a program. And we sell tickets to our event. So it becomes this kind of like, let's address the objection. Let's give people a prerequisite. Let's give them that first step. And then the second step becomes the offer that you're making.
Brilliant. I love it. And it's obviously working.
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
So I also want to speak to like anybody can go and throw together like 5 days of material and like I have been through some of your challenges and I have like reverse engineered and created my own. I'm sorry that I haven't taken your full training. I'm just that kind of geeky that I reverse engineer things, but there are a lot of moving parts and
Yes.
a lot of those moving parts are there for very strategic reasons. And
Mhm.
so I just want to, for a moment, shout out to the fact that if you want to do this successfully to the degree of perhaps growing a business to over $1 million in a few years, like it's worth it to create the moving parts.
Mhm.
There are prizes, there are, Facebook posts, there are check-in calls, like there are a lot of different components that can make this successful. Are there any of those you just want to like make sure people know if they're going to do a 5-day challenge, like at bare minimum, what are some of the pieces of that puzzle that they should have?
Okay, so I'm going to answer two different ways.
Okay.
Number one, we do have a challenge checklist that kind of goes over some of the most critical elements that need to be in place before, during, and after. And we're going to provide it as a gift to all of your listeners. So if you're watching us right now, if you're listening to us right now, there's going to be a link for it somewhere around it in the show notes. So check that out because again, this is the checklist that I used to have in my business that me and my team used to create our challenges, make sure that we have all of the elements in place. Now that's your resource. You're going to get it as a gift so you can take a look at it and take advantage of that. The second part is instead of worrying about like the logistics, yes, there's gamification pieces. Yes, there's certain posts that needs to be made. I think it's even more important to look at what is the goal for putting together a challenge. Like you said, way too many people just say, oh, if it's a 5-day challenge, I need to put together 5 videos and I'm done. Instead, there's a lot of like the art and science and nuances and understanding how those pieces fit together because it's so easy to put together. If you're not putting it with the right intention, it's really easy to mess it up because it's only 5 days. So there's two things that need to happen as you're putting your challenge together. It has to reach two goals. Number one is you have to deliver on your promise. So whatever you said, like in these 5 days, we're going to help you increase your visibility. We're going to help you come up with your six-figure idea. We're going to help you come up with the title for your coaching package. You're going to release some money blocks, whatever the promise is. Number one, you have to make sure that people feel complete because that is the magic behind the challenges. Because if people say, I got what she promised during the 5 days, I can trust that when I signed up for $1,000, $2,000, whatever the offer is coming up, I will get the results because I've seen it already happening. So number one is make sure you're not over promising and make sure that people can complete everything that you are putting together during the 5-day challenge. Now, the second part, which is most, if people are making mistakes with the topics and with the content of the challenge, is you have to create a desire for your offer. So if that part is not done, and it's usually you start doing it, so whatever you promise them, you have to deliver. And at the same time, you have to start opening the door to the next problem they're going to have. So your challenge always has to end with, this is great. However, you also need to have this in order to ensure success. Or we've just talked about all of the mindset that requires for certain task. Now you also need all the strategies and steps and the tools for it. So there always has to be, this is great. Congratulations, you've accomplished this, and there's more. Or this is only the first step. Or this is like one out of three parts you need to have in place. If you're not creating this, you're just going to end up with the training that doesn't lead to your offer. So I know you kind of asked me more about like the logistical things,
Yeah,
the
yeah, but that's a great
emails,
answer. Yeah.
but it's even more important to look at the overall structure. And then everything else we do, like logistically, our formula and how it's different from a lot of other people who've popped up lately and started teaching their own formats is what makes us stand apart is we do 10-minute videos every day. It's not 2 hours. It's not live. You don't have to make people to sit for 2 hours every single day listening to your talk, because those are the challenges where people might be actively participating for a day or two and then they fall off because it's just a lot of commitment to ask for. What we do is we pre-record 5 videos and we send them every single day. And it's a 5 to 10 minute video that's completely laser focused, no fluff, and gets people exactly what they need to do to take the next step. So it's minimum amount of information that people need to have in order to start seeing the results that you promised. And that's as a huge thing, because when I work with a lot of people who are just starting out, if you tell them that you need to do a Facebook Live every day for an hour, they go like, I don't even know how much, like I'll be giving everything away and I don't know what to say. 10-minute video, everything can do that. So to put it in a slightly different perspective, the amount of information that you share during the 5-day challenge is about equal to 1 hour workshop. So if you can find a topic that you can teach in about an hour, that's interactively with a lot of engagement and exercises. This is about what you want to put inside of your challenge. And that gives you micro training, micro lessons every day. People love that. They can consume it at their own time. There's no time commitment that they have to show up online or change their whole entire life. And that's why our challenge is done in this format. People complete them and they say, this is one of the first challenges I've ever done, or I've done more in the last 5 days that I've done in the past 6 months working with a coach. So it's very actionable and it's designed to put people into implementing right away. So that's kind of some of the logistics and the formats.
Totally. I'm a geek for that stuff.
Yes.
And the gamification part too, it's very
Yeah.
much worth digging deeper into Alina's world if you're going to go down the 5-day challenge route, because she has a lot more nuance than she can put into this 30-minute podcast, I swear. I just want to speak to the people who are out there listening who maybe they don't know if they're ready yet for something like this 5-day challenge or a launch or a course or whatever. Like how does somebody know that they're ready, and who generally comes to work with you?
Well, we have people all over the scale. We have people who have multi-million dollar businesses who've been in businesses for like 10, 20 years, and they want to create a challenge-based launch because it is what's working right now. People want engagement, people want the connection, people want to be part of a group that's doing something together. And we also have people who just basically decided that they want to start a business yesterday. So we have complete new beginners. We've had people who've never gotten clients online, never created anything digital, never even offered anything in the digital format, and they do their first challenge and start getting their very first online clients. Because challenges, it's a low tech, low risk, low cost thing. Like you can do a whole entire challenge under $10. Not very many strategies. A lot of strategies are a lot more costly. And we teach people how to use basically free tools like, for example, Facebook community is completely free to use. All you need to do is create a Facebook group. You don't even need to have a Facebook group to begin with, because running a challenge creates your Facebook group community. So it's a very slick model that's working. And it's also really easy to get started with. When I was first starting out my business, the reason I kind of stumbled and came up with this idea of doing challenges is because Creating programs was kind of scary, and I didn't know how else to get in front of people. And that's what started me on this road of building my business. And we went from zero to over $1 million in the first 4 years, in a huge part due to challenges. And it grew my list, it gave me visibility, it positioned me as an expert, it grew my Facebook community. And basically, that was where I started my business. So I tell everybody, if you want to start with growing your list and getting visibility, starting from scratch, challenges is one of the easiest things you can start with. So it doesn't matter where you are right now in your business, whether you're just starting out. And we have, like I would say in our courses, over 50% of people start with no list and no social media following. And creating a challenge and organizing your thoughts and creating your very first digital product helps them create the structure and helps them start building their following either on the email list or in the social media, and gives them that first step to, what do I do right now to start growing my business?
Mm, awesome. Anybody could do it, and it's
Anybody
an
can do it.
amazing tool. I love it. I feel inspired. I'm like already plotting what's my next 5-day challenge going to be? Am I going to repurpose an old one or start a new one? It's yeah, they're very, very fun and in a way that most people I think who get into a coaching or healing business like deeply want to serve people, and to get to serve people in a big way in under five in like only 5 days and see them already supporting each other and celebrating each other, like it's a very nourishing to facilitate a challenge as well, even if it is a lot of moving parts sometimes. But
Well, once you figure out what those moving parts are, it's not that hard. It's
yeah,
just like it's a learning curve, like with everything. But one of the reasons I did the challenges, I think, when I was first starting out, I didn't know how to market myself. I like hated selling. I didn't know what I was doing, but doing challenges was easy because I was in my element. I was teaching and sharing. There's no sales, there's no offers that are happening during the 5-day challenge. It's one of those pure formulas where you're just showing up and giving, like you were saying, like, I just wanted to serve. I just wanted to share what I knew. And then you make an offer, and it doesn't feel like selling because you're basically saying, if you like this, we have more.
yeah.
And it's very often, if you create your challenge the right way, people start asking, do you also teach this before your challenge is even over? So again, like it felt like such an easy model to start with. So you didn't feel like you're marketing, didn't feel like you're being salesy. You're just giving people what's inside of your heart. You're sharing your passion, and people say, I want more.
Yeah. I will say it builds that connection that lasts over time as well. Like I've had so many clients come to work with me, and when I go look, to see where did we end up connecting in the first place, they
Mhm.
came through a challenge that it maybe they didn't sign up for that offer that time, but a year, 2 years, sometimes longer later, then they're ready to work with me. They know who I am. They know they can trust me. We've done this whole journey together, even if it was years in the past. That
Mhm.
connection continues to last over time, and that's special. Yeah, it's awesome. So I know people are really inspired about this, I'm sure, listening. We're gonna put the link to that checklist in the show notes of this video, or if you're listening on the podcast, you can click on the podcast show notes. But what are some great ways for people to follow you or find you, or when's your next challenge? I'm sure people want to get into it.
So the easiest way to find out more about us is find me on Facebook. Go to my group. It's called Business Owners Who Think Big, and it has thousands and thousands of business owners at different stages of business, lots of amazing information, lots of amazing experts. And that's where we run all of our challenges. So we always run all of our challenges on the same Facebook group. And if you want to know what's coming up, if you want to know what additional offers, invitations, other fun things that we're doing, just go join that group, Business Owners Who Think Big. And you're going to see our challenge probably within the next few weeks or months, because we do them on a regular basis.
Awesome. You shared so much wisdom and magic already on this episode. Are there any last words of wisdom you want to leave people with?
Just do it. It's one of the funnest and easiest ways to grow your business. Everybody who've worked with us and created challenges, they go like, there's no resistance to doing it. People looking forward to doing the next challenge. And I can't tell you how many people that we work with, especially when they're first starting out, one of the top questions they have is like, does anybody want what I know? Is this valuable? Like, or is this like, it comes easy to me. So I think it's too simple. And then they do a challenge and they overthink everything and they go like, but this is so simple. Doesn't everybody know that? And then in the first couple of days, people have huge breakthroughs. They have huge transformations and they start hearing from their participants who saying, this has changed my life. I've never heard it shared this way. Wow, this makes sense. Why up until now I've been struggling. And the transformation in the people who create challenges is incredible because it's amazing how easily you can see the value of your work through just doing a simple 5 day challenge. So your confidence goes through the roof, your almost self-worth goes through the roof, and now you've created a digital product that changes people's lives. And if I tell you that you are awesome, you will not believe me. If I tell you your stuff is valuable, you will not believe me necessarily. I mean, you might, but there's nothing like people who you're helping telling you how awesome and how life-changing it is for them, for you to believe in yourself. So I would say anybody can do challenges. Everybody should be doing challenges, and it's going to help your business. It's going to get you clients, and it's also going to help you have that belief in what you want to share.
Yes. Preach. I love it. Awesome. Thank you so much, Alina, for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thank you everyone out there for listening. If you didn't catch that, go to the Facebook group Business Owners Who Think Big, and you'll be able to check in about when Alina's next challenge is happening, or definitely go download that PDF checklist because it is very critical information, in my opinion. If you're going to run a challenge, you're going to want that cheat sheet. So, yeah, whatever happens, keep asking big questions and taking bold action because you are here for a reason. We'll see you next time.